It all started with what should have been a routine delivery job. I'm Alex, and my life isn't exactly glamorous. Just your average intergalactic courier, hauling cargo across star systems for whoever pays the most credits. This particular gig seemed straightforward. Deliver a crate of rare space crystals to planet Zogar 7. Easy money, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Because nothing in space is ever simple, especially when you're me. The trouble began halfway through the journey. My ship, a beat-up old freighter named the Rust Bucket, started making strange noises. At first, I thought it was just the usual creaks and groans of an aging vessel, but then the alarms went off. Red lights flashed, warning klaxons blared, and before I could even think about fixing whatever had gone wrong, the engines sputtered and died. The ship lurched violently, sending me flying out of my seat and crashing into the control panel. By some miracle, or sheer dumb luck, I managed to regain control long enough to guide the ship toward the nearest planet. Unfortunately, that planet turned out to be one of the most dangerous places in the galaxy, Xyloth Prime, home to hostile alien species, deadly flora, and customs so bizarre they make Earth's cultural faux pas look tame by comparison. When I finally crash-landed on Xyloth Prime, I wasn't sure whether to laugh or cry. The impact left a smoking crater in the middle of a dense jungle filled with glowing plants that pulsed like neon hearts. Towering trees stretched high above me, their branches dripping with bioluminescent vines. It was beautiful, sure, but also terrifying because beauty in space usually comes with fangs or venom. As I stepped out of the wreckage, I quickly realized two things. One, my ship was toast, and two, I was completely unprepared for this kind of environment. All I had was my emergency kit, which included a multi-tool, a few protein bars, and, thankfully, a translator device that barely worked but might help me communicate with the locals if I didn't get eaten first. Navigating the jungle was no picnic. Every step felt like walking through quicksand, thanks to the thick undergrowth and sticky mud. And let's not forget the wildlife. Within minutes of leaving the crash site, I encountered something that looked like a cross between a slug and a spider, only 10 times bigger and covered in razor-sharp spines. When it lunged at me, I screamed louder than I cared to admit and scrambled up a nearby tree. Thankfully, the thing lost interest after a while, but the experience left me shaken. If this was just the beginning, I couldn't imagine surviving another hour here, let alone finding a way off the planet. As I trudged deeper into the jungle, I stumbled upon signs of intelligent life. There were strange symbols carved into rocks, intricate patterns woven into the foliage, and faint humming sounds that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Curiosity got the better of me, so I followed the trail until it led me to a clearing dominated by a massive golden palace. The structure gleamed under the alien sun, its spires reaching toward the sky like claws. Armed guards patrolled the perimeter, their armor glinting menacingly in the light. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were towering insectoid creatures with chitinous exoskeletons and glowing eyes. One glance told me they weren't messing around. Despite knowing full well that barging into an alien stronghold was probably a terrible idea, I decided to take my chances. What other choice did I have? My ship was wrecked, I had zero supplies, and staying in the jungle meant becoming dinner for something with too many teeth. So, swallowing my fear and a lump in my throat, I approached the gates. Predictably, the guards stopped me immediately, leveling their energy spears at my chest. Through the translator device, I stammered out something about needing help, though I doubt they understood half of what I said. Just as I thought they were going to vaporize me on the spot, a booming voice echoed from inside the palace. "Bring him to me," it commanded. The guards hesitated for a moment before roughly dragging me inside. The interior of the palace was even more impressive than the exterior. Walls adorned with shimmering tapestries, floors made of polished obsidian, and statues of alien deities lining the halls. But none of that mattered once I laid eyes on her. The alien queen. She was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Her skin shimmered like liquid metal, shifting colors with every movement. 6 arms extended gracefully from her torso, each adorned with jeweled bracelets that sparkled like stars. A crown of pulsating blue gems rested atop her head, and her eyes glowed with an intensity that made my knees wobble. She radiated power, authority, and a touch of menace that sent shivers down my spine. "You dare approach me, puny human?" she boomed, her voice reverberating through the chamber. "Speak quickly, or your insolence will be your doom." For a split second, I considered running. Maybe I could outrun the guards. Nah, that plan wouldn't last 5 seconds. Instead, I forced myself to stay calm and speak clearly, despite the fact that my brain was screaming at me to shut up and bow. Hi, Your Majesty. Look, I didn't mean to barge in uninvited. I'm kind of lost, and my ship's busted, and honestly, I have no idea what any of these weird symbols mean." Before I could finish, I accidentally knocked over a ceremonial vase behind me. It shattered loudly, causing gasps from the alien courtiers gathered around us. One of them shouted something about insulting sacred relics, and suddenly everyone was yelling. For a brief, horrifying moment, I thought I was done. But then the alien queen raised a hand, silencing her subjects instantly. She leaned forward, studying me intently, her glowing eyes narrowing slightly. "You are peculiar," she said slowly. "Most beings would grovel at my feet or attempt flattery. Yet you stand there, trembling yet defiant. Why? Great question. Wish I had an answer." Instead, I panicked. Reaching into my pocket, I pulled out the last remaining item from my emergency kit, a peanut butter granola bar. Holding it out awkwardly, I offered it to her. Peace offering?" The room fell silent. Even the guards froze mid-step, their weapons lowered in shock. The alien queen took the snack bar, examining it closely before taking a cautious bite, then another, and another. Slowly, her expression changed, from suspicion to curiosity to outright delight. "This is delicious," she declared, her voice filled with awe. "What sorcery is this?" "Oh, that's just peanut butter granola," I replied sheepishly. "You can find it at most grocery stores back home." Her reaction was unexpected, to say the least. She clapped her hands together excitedly, startling everyone in the room. "I must have more of this peanut butter granola. Human, you shall stay as my honored guest until you teach me how to create such wonders." And just like that, I went from potential prisoner to VIP overnight. Over the next few days, I found myself teaching the alien queen how to bake using futuristic alien technology. Let me tell you, it was both hilarious and nerve-wracking. We experimented with ingredients ranging from glowing fruits to crystalline powders, resulting in some truly bizarre concoctions. One batch exploded spectacularly, leaving both of us covered in gooey purple slime. Another tasted like burnt rubber, but somehow still earned enthusiastic praise from the queen. Through it all, we bonded over our shared love of food and laughter, and I began to see her not as a terrifying ruler, but as someone who simply wanted to enjoy life's little pleasures. By the time repairs were completed on my ship, I almost didn't want to leave. Almost. Don't get me wrong, the Queen was great company, but I missed my freedom and Earth snacks. On the day of my departure, she personally oversaw the final checks on my vessel, ensuring everything was in working order. As I prepared to board, she handed me a glowing crystal as a parting gift. "For your bravery and your delicious snacks," she said with a smile. "Consider this a token of our alliance. Should you return, you will always be welcome." I bowed awkwardly, still clutching the crystal. "Thanks, Your Majesty. Maybe next time we'll try chocolate chip cookies?" She laughed, a deep, melodic sound that echoed throughout the launch bay. With a final wave, I climbed aboard the rust bucket and set course for home. As I soared away from Xyloth Prime, I couldn't help but marvel at how everything had turned out, all because of a snack bar and a little bit of honesty. Who would have thought? Back in the cockpit, I stared at the glowing crystal, reflecting on the adventure. Life in space is unpredictable, chaotic, and often downright absurd. But sometimes, those moments of chaos lead to the most incredible experiences. Winning over an alien queen wasn't something I'd planned, but it taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes the best way to connect with others, even powerful intergalactic rulers, is to just be yourself. And maybe carry extra snacks. You never know when they'll come in handy. So if you're out there navigating the cosmos, remember this story. Be brave, stay curious, and always pack granola bars. You never know who you might meet or impress along the way.